Hey, everybody, clearing. All right, this is going to be a divine masculine check-in. We're going to dive in and see what would the divine masculines like to bring up to the feminines about the connection, about the feminine, about how they're feeling on the heart space, about everything, what they'd like to manifest, what they would like to do at this point, what their biggest challenges are, what would they like to break the ice and talk about or address or consider. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What is it that these divine masculines in the collective are most wanting to address in the connection at this time? What are they hoping will come from whatever is going on that they're wishing to address? And what is it that the divine feminines can anchor into to support the process within the connection so that both remain sovereign and balanced while negotiating the things that are being balanced in the dynamics? Okay. Oh my goodness. Instantaneous change. So that means that's a spiritual synchronicity that something is going to come out of nowhere and change. All right, here we go. So conscious mind about the connections. What would the masculines like to address? Oh, the love. The love, literally how much freaking love that is here. They want to talk about this. They want to celebrate it. They want to affirm it. They want to be out in the open with it already, just like you feminines. What can we see for what hope comes of this? The Chariot, they're hoping things move forward. Here's union. They truly feel like the two of you are in this together. Even when it looks like you're going in different sovereign directions, these masculines really do understand the love and the spiritual foundation here between the two, the soul connection. Advice for the feminines? 9 of Swords, calm your anxiety. Don't be looking at these connections through the lens of anxiety in and of itself. Use anxiety as a tool to show you the direction you want to go. Don't get stuck in the anxiety. Don't miss your opportunity to manifest greatness here, I just heard, or greatness in your life. And so that means taking your anxiety more as a instruction or an awareness that you can course correct, because when you witness what's causing the anxiety accurately, you have the power to change the direction of things within your own belief structures, your own thoughts, your own attitudes. Anxiety is an inside job, just like happiness is. I heard Spirit say, don't forget that. What are these masculines wishing to bring up regarding you feminines? The free will choices that, oh, I heard so many of them saying that these connections are not bound. Twin flame journeys or labels, they are not binding agents. You're not meant to cling even more tightly because you label something a divine love journey. That is, the masculines are saying that is the binding factor. Get the labels out of there. Get the expectations out of there. Get the heaviness out of it. Get the clinginess out of it. Get the neediness out of it. They're saying, look at everything as a I get to, not an I have to. What can we see for what they hope comes of that? 6 of Cups, they hope that you just affirm and embrace and allow the connection to fill you up, to nourish you, to foster growth, to evolve. They hope that you're just receptive to the work that it's actually doing in both of your lives. What is the advice for the feminines? 3 of Swords. Look at the specific heartaches. Look at the specific anxieties you're having. Use all of it as information to point you in the right direction, not as information to punish you with or tease you with or discourage you with. This is glass half empty, glass half full. Your masculines are saying consistently, the two of you are getting to a place where you're both looking at things in terms of this evolution rather than the glass half empty sort of things. What are these masculines wishing to address on the heart space? Okay, the burden that you're both clearing in your own lives, the inspiration that can come in once that burden is actually overcome. So they're saying, have compassion for them, for you, for both of your journey and how you're needing to clean things up, the progress you've been making, but realize there's still some loose ends. There's still some final things that are being released and navigated. So in the heart space, they're just saying, have compassion for yourself, have compassion for their journey, and see how it all works together. What do they hope comes of this? 8 of Wands. They hope that both of you find these solutions between you and Source, that you're not codependently relying on the other one to get you out of quicksand or to, coddle you or to be there to escape pain with. They know that you're capable, that they're capable, and that you're both incredible souls, well capable of overcoming any of the lower dimensional trials and tribulations, having the right attitudes, thoughts, and beliefs. And this is really internal. This is the card of discernment. When it's in the inverse like this, the 8 of Wands for me is talking about knowing this within your own awareness, your connection to Source, without having to get those answers or confirmations from your counterpart. You're finding these truths within you because you have come through the rite of passage. Your divine masculines are saying we're all capable around here, and it's not a punishment that we have to do it on our own. It's an extraordinary honor. What is the advice for the feminines? 2 of Pentacles, one foot in front of the other. You're not being asked to do it all at once. You're being asked to do it thoroughly, completely, authentically, with a glad heart. You're not being asked to have a race to the finish line. It's not about panic mode. It's not fight, flight, freeze, fawn, herd mentality. It's genuine. It's authentic. It's the hero's journey. What can we see for the heart of hearts? What would the masculines like to address for their feminine? Just how wise you are, how capable you are, how clear you are. They want to affirm that none of their tough love or righteous standards in any shape or form are a vote of a lack of confidence. They believe in you. They believe in you like nobody else. They see that you are completely perceptive and experienced and wise, and they want you to know that they see you that way. If they don't respond, if they challenge you in any shape or form, it's only because they believe in you, is what I'm hearing. Tough love came again. What do they hope comes of this? 4 of Cups, that eventually there won't be passing ships in the night. Eventually it will be legitimate progress. Eventually it won't be missed opportunities. Eventually the lessons learned will stick and it will streamline. Advice for the feminines, 7 of Wands, bravery, continue forward. Ostrich, don't run, don't hide, don't tell yourself suffering stories when you're feeling under pressure. Stay strong, pull your head out of the sand, be there, show up for it, be here for it. Staying power, spiritual strength, hold your own, be in your sovereignty. Don't allow the things that happen on this journey to discourage you. Now, for those few who are watching this and are with karmic partners, do not make it fit. If you are not seeing this spiritual becoming happening with your counterpart, if they are nasty, abusive, mean, don't make this story fit. But if your person is elusive and standoffish in a certain way, focused on their own things, unwilling to come together prematurely, step out of ego and really look at the layer of the spiritual unfolding here. What can we see for how the masculines would like to communicate about manifestations? Investment. They're just saying, keep going, keep investing in what you know you need to do to be the best version of yourself. That's what they're doing right now. What do they hope comes out of this? They hope that you see that they know you have a potential beyond even where you're at now. I just heard them say, you don't intimidate me. I'm not holding back because you intimidate me. I'm holding back because you have even more potential than you've stepped into, and I don't want to hinder that. In part, that's a way of looking at it. Thank you, masculines. Advice for the feminines, Knight of Swords. To continue communicating, perceiving accurately. Just because they're seeing you as this Queen of Swords that is capable of tact and timing and accuracy doesn't mean that every new situation that comes into our lives is already in alignment. You get many opportunities to stay alert, to stay in your spiritual sovereignty, to stay poised, to stay vigilant and not get lazy, not cave in, not go into suffering, but to stay true, to stay in that virtue, to stay in that perception, the clarity. And so your advice is look at things with beginner's eyes, but know that you're not entirely a beginner. You've got this, you know this drill. What are the masculines wishing to talk about regarding action? They are wishing to remind you that you and them alike are working on abundance. Whatever that foundation is, whatever the necessary things are that need to be cleared, healed, stepped towards, they're just reminding you that they know that they're on that path. They know that you're on that path, and to sort of like keep going here. What do they hope happens? The Emperor, that both of you surrender control issues. We have the Emperor and the Empress here showing up together. I'll get to that in a moment. But the first message of the Emperor in the inverse is that they want both to drop control issues and trust the process, trust the divine timing, trust the divine intel, trust the way this is moving in your lives. Even though it doesn't look like it on the surface, they see you too as so aligned, compatible. This is this message of when the two of you step out and it is divine time and you do come out into the world with your connection, you're going to be these fully formed Emperor and Empress energies. And so they're saying, continue allowing this to develop behind the scenes, under the surface in both of our lives, because it's that big ta-da, extraordinary moment where it's going to look magical when this happens in the physical. 6 of Wands. So this is your internal victories. Your advice with that message is to continue receiving and taking it to heart that the two of you, your lives are being shaped behind the scenes, authentically, energetically, righteously. You're both becoming those best versions of yourselves. And it's not about being boastful. It's not about getting accolades from those around. It's about actually reining in that energy, channeling it, focusing it, laser focusing it into the things that you know that you're meant to in order to have this hero's journey. What can we see for the biggest challenge the masculines would like to talk about? Temperance, staying in the frequency of trust and love and balance, emotional equilibrium, compassionate non-attachment, continuing to see what reality looks like, how it is to interact with the material realm, with reality, when we are in this healed perspective as individuals. What do they hope comes of this? Progress, specialization, taking things to the next level, being specialists and authorities in solutions in your own niche in the world. This journey, this healing is informing both of your higher calling, your talents, your gifts, your perception, your contribution. And so this is the challenge, is that mastery, we require this sovereign process of becoming and acting and moving from that new balance and authority. Everything that we do when we come into a new alignment exudes the alignment that we're now in. And so that's the challenge, is there is a phase here where it's still a very independent expression when we come into our own, out into the world. And this is the challenge, because the masculines want to be more closely connected with you in a romantic, in a commitment way than they are as well, feminines. But they know they have to regulate that, because the feminines won't necessarily. And so the masculines do take it sincerely, that they have to be that safekeeper, that provider. I'm just feeling with the way the heron has its wings protecting the fire here. They're keeping the fire by not prematurely rushing into this. Advice for the feminines, the Magician. So this crown chakra lit here. This could also be the full moon, but this is your ability to see energy in this constructive, productive way and not to flounder at times when the connection isn't being focused on fully. This is about you taking what you've learned from the connection and applying it to your path on whatever level you are with karma cleanup, healing, and purpose, and utilizing what you know and what you've learned for the highest of good in your life, feminines. You don't have to be physically with your masculine for this journey to inform you of things of greatness, for you to see which directions to go to manifest that abundance, that wholeness, that peace in your life. But this is the challenge for the masculines, is continuing to create this safety, this devotion to the becoming, the process, the journey. The masculines are more aware than you know they are, feminines. They have their low moments and their bad days, but in general, these divine masculines see on a level that would astonish you when you feel like they haven't awoken yet. If this truly is your divine masculine, they are more awoken than you believe. They're more woke in certain ways than you've seen. Because if you are, they have mirrored that in some regard. What is the solution that these masculines are being guided with? The star, just the immediacy, being in present moment and knowing when to interact, when not to, when to speak, when not to, when to take action, when not to. So masculines, this is about you gaining that composure, that presence through working through your own healing so that you can trust what your guidance is telling you. And what do they hope comes of this? 8 of Cups, that there is this promise. There's that star illuminated that we see here. That they are following the North Star, that they're listening to the internal compass. That is the way to navigate this, is to continue to be diligent, masculines. What can we see? Advice for the feminines. 10 of Cups. Take a note from your masculine in how to regulate happiness. Had your masculine come forward already in certain ways, it would have been codependent or karmic. Really see if you can look at your connection through that lens and be grateful about the timing so far, feminines. What is the direction in the near future? Okay, some more on this 4 of Cups. This has been one of the star player cards that I've had a subtle undercurrent that for the last few weeks. This card talks about times when we feel like love is unrequited or a false start or something doesn't play out the way that we anticipated. It's always an opportunity for more compassion, a divine perspective, a growth spurt. It usually triggers us to grow. If it's aligned that these things don't play out at certain times, it always gives us an incentive to try harder, to do better, to align more purely, to step into righteousness. Watch that. Watch when a false start happens, or a near miss, or we feel like something's going to build and then it shifts and changes at the last minute. Really go deep within your psyche, your awareness, be mindful in those times, and look at the heart expansion that ends up coming as a result. It's like absence makes the heart grow fonder. It gives us new initiative and new strategies to do better next time. So the masculines are contemplating that concept, that reality, that these near misses were not to punish you or them. It wasn't a failure. It wasn't something to be guilty or shameful about. It's actually part of the grand scheme of things and the way divine timing works. And now we have we have the King of Wands. We had the Queen of Wands in the inverse and the King of Wands as well. So we have the Emperor and the Empress and the King and Queen of Wands. These are the spiritually embodied King and Queens, the soul, the temple embodiment, the spiritual leaders, the shaman, the martial artist, master. This is the embodiment. And so as we go through these evolutionary cycles, these preparation experiences, we're being prepared to fully embody that ability to be in alignment with divine perspective, to remember that it's not happening to us, it's happening through us, and that it's all part of this beautiful becoming. We're in the upright as the King and Queen of Wands when we've embodied that awareness. Sometimes we see these cards showing up when we get themes that help us embody partial awareness there. But in this context, with the Emperor and Empress showing up in the same way, I'm reading this as once we fully embody this about near misses and timing and this evolutionary cycles that happen on the journey, we sit in this empowerment indefinitely. This is where we stabilize and not forget that it's a divine process. The King and Queen of Wands don't lose. They don't have amnesia when things don't go their way. They remember that it's part of the divine timing and part of the seasons of the connection, and part of that doesn't mean we'll go into separation after pledging, to be in sacred union together or mutually affirming that we want to. It means once we get there, we've embodied and understood the wisdom and the magic of these cycles and the different purposes they include. What can we see for the advice? Focus on this love. Look at that. Divine Feminines. Again, another symmetrical reading where we begin and end with focus on this love. So masculines are doing that. Everything they do it for you and this connection, feminines. And you're meant to say that in your own heart, that all of it is this sacred mirror, just the two of you. There's nobody else that functions as this elegant mirror in your becoming at this stage, like the person you're watching this reading for. I want to remind you though, that's not the designation of just a so-called twin flame or a soulmate or even a karmic partner. Every sacred mirror that we have as our primary mirror at any given time, there's so much love in it. And so drop the labels and focus instead on the growth and the love and healthy boundaries. When you're actually coming into sacred union, your boundaries will never have been healthier in your whole life. They will be divine. They will be righteous. And so keep aligning with that. Just focusing on your righteousness, your alignment, and your truth that way regarding your perception of divine will, aligning your free will and divine will. The more you focus on that, the more it tells you whether the person you're watching a video like this for or not is in alignment. Sometimes you're misreading that they're not and they are. Sometimes you're misreading they are and they're not. This is a journey of mastery and learning to see what is what that way. And so, yeah, it is very humbling. It's very in-depth. It's a path of mastery because it's profound. It's life-changing. So continue to focus on your own alignment because that's going to give you the clarity you need about all of the other details. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.